Good morning. Oh, it looks like I don't have audio for you yet. Doesn't show you as muted. It might just be still connecting. There's a few dots by your name. Hmm. You could try leaving and then just joining again. Sometimes that's how it solves all audio problems. Um, go. Please work. No, I can't hear you. Let me make sure. Try again. Yeah, I'm just making sure I don't have audio off on my computer. Um, yeah, I still can't hear you. Um, hmm.
Can you
Maybe.
hear me now?
Oh, I can. Yes. Yay.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a little thing here. Yeah, that I need to fix to be more default. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm just glad it worked.
Yeah.
Sometimes those audio things are such a mystery, Like I've
Well,
found that if you have like earbuds in or something and you
no,
change, then you can totally lose audio. Um,
and I have adaptive aids. I have an adaptive headphone that I can use on days that I need to augment my voice.
mm,
Different speaker again. Oh, yeah. And I have to say, um, uh, I'm as savvy with technology as I need to be.
yeah.
I am limited, and if I'm going to get frazzed, it's when that kind of thing doesn't work, and haven't got the quick resolve at my fingertips. Anyway, here we are,
We
and
are. How are
you
you?
look so much better.
Yeah, I noticed that myself when I logged in. I'm like, compared to how pale I looked last time, I'm like, I have a lot more color in my face.
I think I'm sorry it happened, but
Me
if it had
too,
to
yeah.
happen, I'm glad it was with me
Me too.
because I
Yeah.
fear and discomfort of the setting was just not an issue. And I'm so glad you're okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
good, good, good.
Good, good. And so I do want to name that, even though I think maybe we only spoke about um, your experiences for maybe 10, 15 minutes, that's was still really valuable, and I think stuff that I will use. Um, so I'll
I
kind
can't
of
even remember what I said.
I'll kind of take this like
Mhm.
so I have like I'm recording us speaking, and then I'm also going to make a transcript. Um,
Okay.
and what I originally said was, oh, I'll send people the transcript, and then write me back and let me know if there's anything that got missed. Um, but just with the time that transcribing takes and all of life, the transcribing is taking longer. So what I'm doing is I'm just sending folks the recording. I feel like that's easier to go through anyway. And I feel like you're probably more likely to be like, oh, I wish I said this thing in the next few days than like a couple weeks from now when I finish the transcript. So I'll send you both recordings, but no, like the first one will have like maybe 10-15 minutes, and then you and I talking about me being on the ground and such. And then I'll send you this one as well. But yeah, like we last to my recollection, last time I commented on something that really came through for me in what you sent me was this idea that I'm so much more than my pain. And you shared with me really how recent of a revelation that has been for you. It sounds like Dr. Lau too was really influential in kind of coming to that way of relating to the experience.
I think I think I've known that I am more than my pain for quite a long time, even before I started with Change Pain, but certainly exponentially became more aware of knowing that. But this incident with Dr. Lau, I think what's pivotal and profound and an important step in making this more functional, meaningful, and helpful to me is I felt it. I felt it in my soul. And interesting, in Taoism and my Tai Chi practice, it's not about the form, how pretty it's about the feeling. It's all about reflective feeling. And so I would say I am more than my pain. I embodied it.
Yeah.
And believed it. And realized that I was living it.
So what's
even on my worst days, on my worst days.
What's your experience of the difference between like this kind of knowing that you're more than your pain and that knowing that's been there for a long time, and then this embodiment of it? What's different between the two?
I think it has contributed to my level of anti-fragility, to not, and maybe to just try not to just pick on the words. It has become more functional. I'm more confident. I believe in myself, and I see myself more than my pain and my focus. I realize, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. So an exercise like this and the GMVs where you pause and you reflect. Whoa, and you can kind of what's the word? See it for what it really is. And I think it's believing. I believe it. And I realize that my daily living, just inherently now, I don't live my life through and because of my pain. I realize, like in all my connections, it's so important to me that pain not be what identifies me. And
Mm.
and it actually almost upsets me now but I feel so much that I'm responsible for my own reality. I have thought that for really all my life, but
Yes.
more, I create my own reality. And if people are only talking about my pain, I need to step back and think, what am I doing, or what
Mm.
have I done, or what more importantly, what can I do, what to shift that focus, but
Mm-hmm.
still my authentic self. That's not to negate my reality. And yeah, it's darn hard. And
Mm-hmm.
there's lots of things that I do have to be in my cocoon. And so when I say I am much more than my pain,
Mm-hmm.
that may involve a day where the focus is all on managing my pain. But so many of my self-help management tools now are not, they're, they're tools that are applicable to any challenge in my life. So they're not kind of
Mm-hmm.
within the scope of the
Mm-hmm.
intervention and
Mm-hmm.
medical rehab center.
Yeah.
My,
Yeah.
just my home, I never wanted my home to look like a rehab center.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you an example of that. Um, I had always knitted all my life.
Mm-hmm.
When this all first started, of course, especially CRPS in my hands,
Yeah.
no, it was not something that I did or felt I was able to do. But I think I told you in the rehab center, they had this central desensitization thing of all these different bins with different textures, and you put your hands into them, and gradually you can your level of desensitization rises. Well, again, with that thought, I thought, I don't want to have to go to a rehab center and do their bins. I can do my own bins at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. Then I started thinking, okay, how can I normalize that even more? And I thought, I don't know why, I thought of my knitting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a lovely meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I wonder. So I found some yarn that was the most potentially comfortable for my hands,
Yeah.
2 different yarns. And I literally started with 1 or 2 stitches and knitting those for a minute or 30 seconds, and gradually worked up to the place where today I have turned that desensitization of my pain rehab practice
Yeah.
into gifts of joy and gratitude for others.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Is that not empowering? It's very
Yes.
empowering
Yes.
and normalizing and thrilling. And it just helps take away the potential catastrophization
Yes.
of pain.
Yeah. As you share that, I'm feeling kind of echoes of that really beautiful, kind of longer writing you shared. I'm just looking at the title here, At Peace with Pain. And everything that was in that one about passion and connection and meaning and purpose.
I have purpose beyond my pain.
Mm-hmm.
And when my mother got dementia, it was vascular dementia, so she was fully aware, and she handled it really, of course, she handled it really pragmatically and well.
Mm.
And have I told you the story about the banana peel?
No.
I'm going to tell you because this is profound. And she was still alive, and this happened while I was in some of the most difficult times of my journey.
Mm-hmm.
she was now in care, but had her own little kitchen. Anyway, my mother was an incredible gardener and composter, environmentalist, way ahead of her time. We were standing in her little kitchenette, and she was eating a banana, and she finished it, and she threw the peel into the garbage. And I saw that. And my assumption, I thought, oh my God, she doesn't realize she's thrown that in the garbage rather than the compost. And she's not aware, and you go, oh.
Yeah.
So I just gently, I said, hey, Mom, that's the garbage you put that in. I said, you've got your compost bucket. And she was a very powerful woman, looked up at me, and she took that, then bent down, took that banana peel out of the garbage, opened up both doors, and she said, you will notice there is no compost bucket there. And she threw intentionally that peel back into the garbage. And she looked at me and she said, I did it when I could. And now I do something different. Profound. She never said the word I can't.
I'm tearing up in response to that. That's really powerful.
And you know what the reality was? She could compost, but she was losing her way in finding her way down through the institution to where she could compost. So rather than freak out or start involving other people or whatever, she just went the road of very simple practicality. I did it when I could, and now I do something different. And that is one of my main mantras, and it applies here to this. And so for I knit my scarves. For I'm involved in a it's called the Shelburne Community Kitchen, and it's not just a food bank, but they educate food illiterate people how to grow food, how to whatever. And I was on board. I was actively involved. Well, 2018, I had to go off the board, and I thought, how can I continue? And one of the things I do, I knit eternity scarves for the volunteers that do what I used to do. And I support them in my ways that are manageable.
Yes.
And share. It's a way of me, my own reality with others, and give them, I don't want to be defined by my pain. Look at this. Yes, it's a tool I have for pain management. But they're gifts of gratitude.
Yes. Yeah, I see that those words from your mom woven through that with you, right? I did it when I could, and now I do something different.
So I really had a head start in life. But as you read, there were elements of my mom and dad's experience with my dad's polio that skewed our sense of self. As kids, you can't rationalize all that. You just think, okay, that's what I do. I don't think of me. I give, because that was my perception as a young person. Well, pretty skewed and caused me a lot of grief.
Yeah. And so that's
in my personal life.
Yeah, we started to touch on that last time, and you've written about it, that my understanding, and correct me where I'm off here, is that the work that you did to address that piece before developing pain is what you're identifying as so central to have supporting you in navigating all of this.
Well, because before doing that work, again, professionally, I always said if I could do as well in my personal life as I did professionally, I'd be laughing. Because in my professional life, it was all giving, right? It really was. And But actually, it was after two, and I'm going to say this, and it's fine. After two failed marriages, realizing, okay, I think we better do some serious work here. And right out of the gate, it became evident that the motivation behind my giving was learned as a child, and I didn't have a balanced perspective. And the bottom line is, I did not have personal sense of self-confidence, self-esteem, whatever. Because when I lost my ability to be that critical care nurse, drive a car, own a home, I stood naked. And I didn't even know who I was, Sarah. I didn't even know who I was. I thought my life was over. So I did serious counseling. So I came into, and it was just another form of pain. It's all just pain, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, whatever. And that's why I think principally now, and I try to learn principally. It simplifies things and makes things more functional and practical, and what's the word? Easily, it's at my fingertips, functionally usable.
Yeah, I hear that.
If I didn't have that basic sense of self-esteem, self-confidence, knowing who I was, whatever, going into this, I'm not certain I'd be here. I really am not certain I'd be here. I mean, I was rescuing men. I'm losing my shirt. And so I have no anger or bitterness there at all, nor do I self-blame. See, I was always so self-critical. And it's still the tapes are all there.
Yes.
I'm more aware now of those traits and those pitfalls. And I have mantras and tools, practical tools.
Yeah.
And I think the brain mastery really helped me get more unstuck in a lot of ways, but affirmed that I'm on the right path. And the more experience of challenges, whether it's just a bad day with pain or whatever, I now know and feel that no matter how I feel in this moment, how much I might think I'm mad, I'm at a loss, I'm failing.
Yeah.
I know the path. I know the steps. And I think how quickly can I get from my subconscious, from my conscious mind to my subconscious mind, where all my good tools on automatic pilot are. How quickly can I get there? So I'm not ruminating and increasing my level of suffering, because pain is inevitable, suffering is optional, because it's our mind, what we do.
Yeah. And so I'm hearing that, like, really even before these big challenges with pain, let's say the physical side of pain, there was this other pain. And you sort of began this journey of working with pain before you ended up with the physical pain. And it sounds like for so much of your life, in so many ways, there's been this, like you've talked about kind of like everything that you've learned about and written about, everything that you've learned about from your parents in terms of navigating challenges. Like, when I think about my kind of research question about like what is living well or doing better, was there a point where you felt like you weren't kind of living well with it, or do you feel like you've been kind of living well with it all the way through?
Oh no.
No. Okay.
Professionally, yes. Oh no. And again, this is another reason why I saw your invitation to be involved in this project as it's just continued opportunities to learn and reflect. And I love stepping back and seeing it bigger.
Yeah.
I think it's the root of why I now genuinely feel that my pain on some level is a gift, and it's a platform for me not to just continue